Hi everyone, I'm Ron Strong and welcome back to the studio. I'm so excited to have you here with me in this space in 2025. I have so many amazing tutorials to share with you, so many wonderful new blanket designs, and a few other goodies along the way. We're going to start the year off strong with my new favorite blanket that I've designed, which I feel like I say about every single blanket. So anyway, we're going to be working on this wonderful blanket, which is called the Mossy Throw. So it's a beautiful throw that's worked side to side, which means that it's really, really simple. It's really, really quick to work up, and it's the perfect skill building project. And it only takes about 4 or 5 hours in total to kind of work this up, which I love, especially this time of year. I'm not looking for any big commitments. If I can have a quick to stitch project, that is perfect for me. So we're going to get started on this. So let's get stitching, shall we? All right. So to get started with our Mossy Throw, we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to put that on our hook. Now your pattern will recommend a 10mm crochet hook and super bulky yarn. This pattern calls for 6 balls of Woolies Thick and Quick from Lion Brand yarn in this color, which I absolutely love. It's called, in this color that I absolutely love, called Cilantro. To get started, the pattern has us chaining 68. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and just chain 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so we got our chain 18. Like I said, the pattern has 68. I would just say no matter what you're working, you want to pick an odd number. So in this case, for the throw, I did 65, and then you want to add 3. So whatever you choose, just go ahead and add 3. That will make sure that you end with an odd number, which is what we need for the pattern stitch round, or sorry, the pattern stitch row, which I'll explain to you in a second. So if you want to make this blanket longer, because remember, this blanket is not made end to end, so we're kind of chaining the long part, so we're making it side to side. All right, so once we have our chain finished, we're going to double crochet in the 4th chain from our hook, and then we're going to work a double crochet, and we're going to do that all the way across. And in the pattern, you're going to end with 65 double crochet. For this example here, I'm going to end with 15. Now it looks like I have one left over, but I don't. Some designers count this as a stitch. I don't. This is your slip knot, so we're just going to close that up so we don't have one. We'll weave that in at the end. Okay, so we have 15 stitches, which is what we want, and that's our first row. So super simple, just double crochets all the way across. Now, after that first row, we'll move on to row 2. That's our pattern stitch row. So for that, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn. Now that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. Now this is a row where having the odd number of stitches really becomes important. So what we're going to do is single crochet in the first stitch, and then double crochet in the next stitch. Single crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch. Now this is a very popular stitch. Sometimes it's called a crunch stitch, which is, I think, what I mostly call it. It has different names within crochet, but it's just alternating single and double, and it causes that double to just kind of get squished down, so it pops out a little bit on the other side of the row that we're working on, and it gives really cool textural interest. But it is an even numbered pattern, even stitch number pattern, meaning there's a single and a double. So it's a stitch multiple of 2, right? So single, double, 1, 2. So we're going to repeat single and double all the way across. The reason we need to have an odd number on this row is we want to start with a single and end with a single. So I'm going to work the last double of that single double repeat. And then in the top of those beginning stitches that I skipped in that foundation row, I'm going to work a single crochet, which will be my last stitch. So essentially the beginning stitch and the end stitch are anchored by single crochets, and then we have alternating single and double all the way across, right? So that's our pattern stitch row. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 3. I already chained 1. I do that automatically at the end of my rows, but going to chain 3 and turn. Now when we turn, you can see that nice little texture we're getting, and when you run your hands across it, you can feel it too. There's little bumps. So, and when I see how, when you tilt the work a little bit, you can see it got nice little bumpy texture there, which I love. Now we're just going to double crochet across. That beginning chain 3 does count as your first double crochet, so that's important to keep in mind. And we're not going to increase or decrease stitches at all. We're just going to keep working straight across. So we're going to double crochet in each stitch across. So now we have our foundation row. We have our row 2. This is our row 1, row 2, and row 3. And you can see that row 2, that texture that kind of goes all the way across. And that's what makes this fun. I love a simple pattern, but I don't want a pattern that's just going to be all double crochet because I'm going to get bored really, really fast. If we zoom in, you can really see that textural interest all the way across. Very cool, right? Okay, so to work our second kind of set, we're going to start out by working another round 2. So I chain 1 and I turn my work. I single crochet into the first stitch. Now I'm going to double crochet into that next stitch. I single crochet into the next stitch and double crochet into the next stitch. Now I can tell right away, see that double crochet, how it's popping out? That's what we want. If for some reason you're finding that your textured rows aren't as textured as you like, it might be your row gauge, might be just a little bit too loose. To kind of fix that, what you can do is try to not pull up on your loops so much when you're crocheting. So when you pull your loop through to do your single crochet, try not to pull up like this to complete your crochet, right? Keep it down kind of perpendicular to your actual work and just pull through. Same thing with your double crochet. You want to keep it really close to your work. See how I'm not pulling that loop up too much? Keeping everything really close to the hook. What that's going to do is not only keep your row gauge consistent, but it's going to keep those double crochets at the double height of the single, which is going to give you that texture that's going to pop out. So that's one of the common things that we see when we're doing this stitch is sometimes people have a tendency to kind of pull up and do this, and then they're wondering why it's not doing what you want. That's too big of a loop when you're doing a double crochet or any stitch. You shouldn't have to pull up that much unless a pattern states that. So what you want to do is pull up a loop, pull it through. Don't pull up too much, just enough to get your hook through. That's it. Then pull through 2, pull through 2. All right, same thing with single. Just enough to get that hook through. And then we get to our last stitch, which is the top of our chain 3. Going to go through, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Then we chain 3 and we turn. All right, so that's the entire tutorial for the Mossy Throw. I told you, it's pretty simple. It's really easy to change the size. It's really easy to stitch, and it's really quick to stitch too, which is my favorite part. The other really cool thing is change the yarn and you completely change the total feel of the blanket. And then it's not so much a Mossy Throw as it is a whatever you want it to be throw. Try a variegated yarn or a self-striping super bulky yarn, and I bet it would look so cool. So I can't wait to see what projects you make. If you post them on social media, let me know. You can always email me. My email is in every pattern download. You can post them on comments on my blog, send them to me in a DM, whatever you want to do. I'm always here for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on all my socials. Everything is linked down below to the pattern, all that good stuff that you need to know. Yeah. Until next time, happy stitching. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming back. And keep smiling, friends. I'll talk to you soon.